Hello friends, I'm Sarah Gaston.
And I'm Joe Grisafi.
And welcome to another episode of Your Mileage May Vary.
Thank you for tuning in. I wanted to talk about the sudden number of auditions we've had lately.
It's whack.
And
this is December of 2020, by the way, in case you're wondering.
So we've been sitting around for months wondering what's going to become of our careers and when things were going to get back on track. And suddenly audition from our agents. And it's very exciting.
Which is whack because, you know, New York and Los Angeles, the big markets, shut down.
Right. And we're not here to brag about the auditions that we're getting. The point of this video is to share with you what we have done in the downtime to help us stay sharp for this moment.
Yes.
Now, Sarah has done countless numbers of acting videos, giving advice to new and veteran actors.
And Facebook Live every Wednesday?
Yes, Facebook Live every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central on Sarah Gaston's page. But you've been putting yourself in front of the camera.
Constantly.
And you've been talking in front of the camera.
Well, I put myself in front of the camera doing that, right? So creating content and getting really comfortable being in front of the camera. Because I'd done some videos before, but I really ramped it up. And doing the Facebook Live was not a game changer, but for me, it was kind of scary to put myself out there in that way. The other thing I did is I used the downtime to build a voiceover demo. So I've started doing voiceover gigs. I've been doing some anime stuff over at Sentai Films.
That paid off pretty quickly, too.
That paid off very, very quickly. And so, those are a few of the things I've been doing to sort of take care of the downtime and actually keep my skills sharp as well.
And we've done these videos together. If you're following our pages, our channels, you've seen us do these videos, which, just like Sarah, being in front of the camera, hearing my own voice, continuing to look at the lens, look at the camera, it keeps your confidence up.
Right.
And then when the auditions pick up, you're not like, oh man, what do I do? I'm uncomfortable now. You're like ready to go. I feel more confident now than I have in years.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
Right.
I can't say what it was, but out of the blue, I got an audition for a major television show.
Yeah.
And Sarah helped me with the first one audition request, but for 3 characters. I auditioned for all 3 of those characters, turned it in, felt pretty good about it, turned it in, erased it from my mind. A week later, I got another audition request for that same show for a 4th character. Turned it in. Sarah coached me, but I didn't need a reader, so she coached me after dinner that night. I went home at midnight. The last video we just talked about working late. So I recorded my audition at midnight, turned it in, and just a few days later, my agent in Georgia called and said, hey, you're first choice for this role. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait for the opportunity to do a video with you and share you the details of that day. Because that was so out of the blue. And I realized, because we had been doing all the stuff during downtime, doing videos, I was reading scripts because a couple of people were interested in casting me in their film, so I had scripts to read. I was reading scripts using the tools that you gave me and your students and in your videos, how to find what you call the Easter eggs in the script.
Right, how to break down the script.
Yeah. So when I got this audition, I felt really good about what I did, but I tuned it out after I turned it in. So this particular agent, Amber at Trinity, it's all the communication is via email, but if her name comes up on your phone, that means something's happening.
Right.
And when I saw her name on my phone, I thought of the last thing I auditioned for, and I go, wait a minute, no, this can't be. And it was. It was.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Just listening to you talk. You know, the other thing that I think you might be discounting is that you really did the work on that audition, and you've been putting in the work. Because one of the things that can happen, especially during a period like COVID, but it can happen a lot, I think, in the regional markets because there's less going on. It's really easy to get a little lazy and a little like, oh, another audition. When am I going to have time to film this? Because I've got all this other stuff to do. So, one of the gifts of COVID for a lot of people has been that we're not running around all the time and going from here to here to here and just all this busyness. So we actually can take time, or we choose to take the time that when you have an audition opportunity to really do the work so that you're turning in a performance. You're not just turning in like, oh, another audition. Oh, here I am with my eyes in the script the whole time. And you really did the work.
Thank you.
That's all.
And hopefully that will stick with us, realizing that we had this time to do the work as actors, and it's sticking so far.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And how important these auditions are, because you get in the regional market, it just becomes another audition. So when you do get that big one, it's just another audition.
Right.
Suddenly there's a dry spell, and then you get a series of big ones.
Right.
And you actually get one of those roles. You're like, okay, wait a minute. This time I did the work.
Right.
Is that the difference? Yes.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. Something else, just talking about what we did with our downtime to prep, is there has been so much stuff that's been offered online, either free or at a nominal rate, that, especially when COVID first hit, for people to take advantage of. I am on the Groundlings mailing list because I've been going through their core program, and one of the things that came up is all these webinars that you could have with people like Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone and Octavia Spencer and Allison Janney and like all these incredible people. And so just because people want to connect and people want to give back and people want to inspire, I've taken advantage of so many opportunities like that to really learn what these people did, what they do, how they work. I've bought acting biographies and autobiographies, and I just did a song improv workshop through the Groundlings. I mean, obviously it was all virtual, but to think, oh, well, I can't be on stage right now if you're a theater actor, there's nothing to do, is crazy talk, because you guys, things are gearing back up, and you better, if you've let your saw get rusty, you got to start sharpening that saw, because you don't want to be 6 months out of shape, so to speak, when those auditions start coming your way.
That's exactly right. This is a muscle.
Yes.
And it's very easy for your mind, your acting muscle, to get rusty.
Yeah.
And I know we did a video early on at the start of COVID about creating your own content, but we'll reinforce some of those thoughts now.
Right.
You've done your acting videos, teaching people for free. You're doing this stuff for free. You don't charge anyone for your YouTube videos or your Facebook Live. You don't even have a tip jar, a Cash App, not begging for anything.
Right.
You're just doing it out of the generosity of your heart, but it helps you too.
Right.
Because you remind yourself what you know.
Absolutely.
And you keep your muscle sharp by talking to the camera.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I felt the same way. I started doing videos after talking about doing them for a long time. I started doing them at COVID too. But I not only did acting videos for myself and with you, but I also did it about things I enjoy. Baseball cards and Hot Wheels and whatever I was interested in at the time.
And that could just help you in your interview skills and just like your conversation skills when you go into the audition room or you have to do like a taped interview.
Yes, because you're talking to the camera. I'm comfortable about talking about things I enjoy.
Right.
Whether it's my dogs, baseball cards, it might sound silly to the rest of the world, but that really helped me.
Right.
Just talking
Yeah.
to a camera, getting comfortable in front of the camera, or remaining comfortable in front of the camera.
Well, and it can help you with commercial auditions where you're a spokesperson and you have to talk directly into the camera.
Yes.
Yep.
And in a regional market like Houston, that's a big thing.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of, there were, hopefully there will be again, a
Right.
lot of spokesperson jobs.
Right. Spokesperson jobs and industrials where you might speak into the camera, like the teleprompter job you mentioned in another
I was very
video.
comfortable doing that job.
Right.
But I was aware of the problems.
Right, exactly.
But that's a different video to watch.
Right.
But yeah, doesn't matter what you're doing. Get in front of the camera, read a book, learn how to read a script, read a book, learn how to take your eye off the page. There are things you can do to be ready that will make you sharp. It may be a while, but you don't want to be caught off guard when that opportunity comes your way.
Right.
You want to be prepared, and that's what's the famous quote or saying? Success is 90% preparation.
No, it's
10% luck, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and you've probably heard
there's
it.
10% inspiration, 90% perspiration.
Right.
But I think it's
That's
something
what I'm
along the
thinking
lines of success is when preparation and opportunity meet. Something like that. But
Yes.
bingo.
So
Go.
you don't want to be caught off guard.
And speaking of, getting caught off guard, so, we all pretty much know how to use Zoom or Google Hangouts or one of these things by now. I have 2 students, one who now lives in New York and one who lives here in Houston, and they became very good friends through my class. And they meet on Zoom once a week, and they just work on scripts together. So they just practice together. And in particular, the one person who you commented because you watched her work in my class one night, and you said, oh my gosh, she's gotten really, really good. Guess why? Because she works on it every week with this friend of hers who now lives in New York City, also my former student, right? So even just that, getting with a friend over Zoom or over the phone and just practicing reading scripts together and talking about them and talking about, all your character work. What does my character want? What are they trying to get from the other person? All that stuff matters, you guys. Just like, drinking enough water or doing, you do 10 push-ups a day. Well, after a while, that's going to add up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
go do push-ups.
And it's free. It's free.
Yeah.
Doing all that stuff Sarah's talking about is free. You may
Yes.
not be working right now and you can't afford acting classes. Doesn't mean you can't practice.
Absolutely.
You may not be able to put Zoom meetings with your friend talking about acting on your resume under training, but it'll show.
Oh,
It'll show when you go and
girl,
audition.
it's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Is that all you wanted to say?
all I wanted to say. Just do something.
Yes.
Stay sharp. You may not have all the auditions right now, but we're here to say it's all picking up.
Yep.
In Houston, maybe not Houston, let me take that back. In Texas, Austin has Walker, Texas Ranger. Atlanta is picking up. The job I talked about that I got in November was in Atlanta. And I know there's at least a couple of things in Atlanta. So things are picking up, maybe not in New York or LA, but it's happening in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
So be ready because it's coming back.
I just had a huge audition yesterday for something that's like a network series, and that was in Louisiana. So,
Yeah.
and there's stuff going on in New Mexico. So, heck yeah,
So
people.
it's coming back.
Yeah.
It's coming back, and it's very exciting. So be ready. That's all we're here to say.
Yes. Happy
All right.
holidays, and we'll see you maybe next year.
Yes.
Okay.
Happy New Year and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays if we get this up before
And,
Christmas.
and happy Hanukkah,
Yes. And Kwanzaa.
and all the stuff. Happy winter solstice.
Even Xmas if that's your thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
here's to a great 2021.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Bye.